Everybody, Rothstein here. Betting Public Sports Show. Just finishing up some road work before I holler at y'all real quick. Today's Monday, November 25th, 2024. 3 days before Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. Really, what? One day. America pretty much shuts down Wednesday until Friday morning, Friday at midnight. Black Friday shit. I don't see them videos of y'all out there fighting over motherfucking electronics and TVs and shit. But I'm sure there'll be a bunch. But at any rate, no action today. I don't have any action on this video. Not on this one, all right? For Monday. But I just want to talk real quick to you about hip-hop. First and foremost, RIP to TJ Swan. TJ Swan, he was like the singer. He was like the first T-Pain, the first Akon, the first Nate Dogg of hip-hop, singing them hooks. Like Biz Markie said it on the song The Vapors. Well, you all know TJ Swan. He sing on my records, make the music. Nobody beats the Biz, well, check it. Back in the days before Biz began, he used to try to talk to this girl named Fran. That song, The Vapors. I know you've heard it. If you haven't, you're missing one of the best songs in hip-hop, The Vapors. But, he passed over the weekend. Didn't say, it wasn't like any foul play, no murder, no suicide, nothing like that. Pardon those words. But, yeah, it was nothing like that. They just said he died or whatever. So, probably from some natural causes or something. Things like that. And that's just, and that's the one thing I wanted to talk to you about hip hop. That was the one thing they didn't get us on healthcare. Cause way too many of these rappers have died in their 50s on natural shit. I'm not talking about, getting shot, going back to even before Biggie and Tupac. You had DJ Scott LaRock of Boogie Down Productions. He got shot in like 86, 87, shot and killed. Then you had Biggie and Pac. But before that, Eazy-E died in 95 of, HIV/AIDS related situations from what we know. Then, like I said, Biggie and Pac, 96 and 97. Big Pun died of heart attack. 2000 maybe, 2000-ish, something like that. And then, you had those, don't get it twisted, you had those emo rappers, like Juice WRLD, who actually, I did like that one song that he did, I see your shadows in my room, or however it goes. I remember that little jingle. I fucked with that. That was a nice little jingle. And, like Mac Miller, he died of, overdose. So did Juice WRLD. So guys are dying. Those guys dying like that, passing like that. And then you had a few more guys get gunned down. Nipsey, Hussle, Pop Smoke, Xtentacion, or whatever how you say his name. Then you had a few of those. Then obviously those Chicago guys, King Von and them. So yeah, but I'm talking about these older rappers from like the 80s. They get to their 50s and they're just dropping like flies. From obviously from no health care. You had Coolio, you had Shock G. He the one that brought Tupac in the game. Then there was Biz Markie, Heavy D, Sean Price. Sean Price wasn't necessarily an 80s rapper. A lot of them did. Just dropping, not Freddie Fox. Who was that? Tim Dog. That's who it was. Tim Dog. Fuck Compton. That guy. Like I said, just guys just dying in their 50s. And that just tells me one of two things, or really both. So one of three things. One, wasn't taking serious health care. Taking your health care serious when you were a younger man. Two, probably going hard with that narcotic. The drinking, the weed, the blow, whatever, whatever drugs you were into, because as you know, each generation the drugs get tougher and more harsh. Marijuana back, way back in the day, then that came to that then they started dealing with the cocaine and the heroin, them narcotics, that narcotic. And then now they doing some, and as the weed came back, thanks to Dr. Dre and the chronic, it never really left, but it never left the inner city, but it became popularized and became cool to do, thanks to others. But really that album, The Chronic, it was just basically an hour of niggas rapping about gang banging and smoking weed. Bomb ass album though, don't get it twisted. I don't get it. I bumped every rap track on that motherfucker. Don't get it twisted now. And then now they doing, the other shit, that Molly and Percocets and, things like that. So, the drugs get, more harsh, and I understood that, that the entertainment industry, especially music or whatever, doesn't necessarily have the best healthcare options available for you. So that's probably part of it too. But yeah, we, got to stay up on that healthcare. There's no need to be dropping dead in your 50s like that. Now I say that fully knowing that, I've had my own health care issues and whatnot. I mean, I actually died in 2021, and I had, and I'm not even 50 yet, I'm still in my 40s. But, these guys, out here, it's like, damn, like y'all was making some little money and shit. Did you never think about your health care? Probably not. And like I said, like Biz Markie, he probably wasn't a weed smoker or not, but I'm sure he was a drinker. I'd be surprised to find out he wasn't a drinker, but but big as he was, he was overeating. Pun was, supposedly, 400-600 pounds or whatever, somewhere like some enormous weight. And, he was only like 5'7". He wasn't a real big guy either. I had a friend, matter of fact, just died a couple months ago, early this year, a guy I've known since middle school. He died. His heart just couldn't take it anymore. He had some health issues for the past 10, 12 years, and his heart just couldn't take it anymore. And he passed, and he was too big, We've got to get that health care. That's what rappers do. We can talk all stop the peace, all the, that's great. Respect the women, the queens, and all that kind of shit. That's great too. But we need to hear some good rap music and bars about, staying on that health care. I know Styles P, the former Lox rapper, or the Lox rapper, I don't want to say the former. I know he does the Juices for Life. He owns a juice bar and whatnot. That was his thing. Once his first run of music was over, he started getting into that. And that's great too. We need bars about that, not just bars of how successful the venture is. I mean, that's just not just him. Don't get it twisted, because I've talked to Styles P. Let me make sure that I'm clear on that. I'm not just talking to just him, because I've talked to Styles P on Twitter before, and dude will get a little indignant and start talking some shit. He was getting over me, calling me, "Oh, beloved, you all stocky in the bathroom." Blah blah blah. I'll never forget that day. He kind of get at me, but yeah, we can't just all those bars about the women, stop the violence and raising the women and all that. That shit's great. We got to talk about our health as well, because we can't just have people dying at 50. When the music dies, when the music stops, your heart does too, because just way too many. That's way too many guys from the same, especially with these rockers living in their 70s and 80s. And I'm not talking about Michael and Prince. I know those were Michael Jackson and Prince. I know those were kind of like oddball deaths from drug overdoses and whatnot. I'm talking about, yeah, like I'm saying, these are just regular dudes just regularly dying. All the fat boys are dead except for one. 2 of the 3 fat boys are dead. And once the other 2 die, and one of them died in like their 50s. One of them died early. The human beatbox, he died, long time ago. Prince Markie D He just died in the last 10 years. He was, he had a couple jingles for Mary J. Blige. He produced one of her songs. Yeah, I don't like hearing that because, not only is that, like my childhood, it reminds me of my mortality and my big age, as y'all like to say, just reminds me like I'm glad I go to a doctor. And when I say go to a doctor, I don't mean like going to the emergency room to make them your primary care doctor. I'm talking about a doctor that you see regularly every 6 months. He comes in there and sees that you're getting big, you're getting little, your blood's going and everything. Are your kidneys functioning properly? All that kind of stuff. We need those type. You got to have one of those doctors, a primary care physician, a primary care physician. That you see regularly. Not, like I said, not just the ER doctor. When your bowels ain't working right the one time or whatever, you got to go see people every day. And that's that's the biggest thing that rap doesn't talk about, healthcare. But now as we're getting older, but now as the rapper, and that's why those older rappers are necessary. To talk about those kind of things. When these rappers, they're in their 20s, they ain't thinking about their mortality and shit like that. They ain't thinking about that kind of stuff, growing old and whatnot. That's kind of what Eric Sermon was talking about on the Willie D show about, you drill rappers and you younger rappers, you're not making music that's transcended, enough to carry on to another generation, like Eric Sermon, he made You Got to Chill. You can play that anywhere. You can play that anywhere, around your kids, your grandparents. There's no cursing on it. It's a great beat. They just rhyming. It's one of the best rap songs ever. That Troy, They Reminisce Over You. Troy got a little bit of language in it in the beginning, but for the most part, and some themes in it, but for the most part, very acceptable song around anybody. And that's what about these songs about these younger guys today. Like, will your music be listened to 20, 30 years, or will you have an audience 20, 30 years from now? Because they're all dead or whatever. Because that's what's happening with the old school rappers. They're dying and, we're dying off. We're getting older. But these rappers, some of these songs is like, yo. Well, not some of these songs, but some of these just like that TJ Swan, like a pretty boy nigga. You know what I'm saying? He was cool in the video, Vapors. You know what I'm saying? He the first dude on it, And I talked to, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like X and Twitter. Because I remember I talked to Big Daddy Kane a long time ago about that. I said, is it true you wrote the Vapors? And how long did it take you to write it? He said, it took me 2 weeks. I had to find TJ Swan and Cool V's stories. I had to get their stories. You had to connect with them. Back in the day, there wasn't no cell phone, much less the internet where you could hit somebody instantly. You called their house and they wasn't there, you didn't get them until they called you back, or you called them at home. Mike could have, hit them on the pager, but it still had to pull over and call. There wasn't no cell phones. They had to pull over and call you. So he had, took him a while to get their stories and whatnot. Big Daddy Kane, but that's a hell of a song, The Vapors. TJ Swan, nobody beats the biz. Nobody beats the biz. Nobody beats the, Make the music. Make the music. TJ Swan, R.I.P., man. Damn. I'm getting old out here, y'all. I'm getting old out here, but I'm glad to be here for right now. I'm definitely glad to be here while I'm here. But I'm going to try and make the most of it, get as many years out of it as I can. That's why I go see a doctor. That's what these rappers, these 40s and 50-something-year-old rappers that are still making music, or, like Ice Cube, Method Man, Redman, Nas, Jay-Z supposed to got an album coming. Yeah, we talked about wealth and generational wealth and all that pretty shit. Now we got to start talking gritty and grimy about some ugly shit. That's healthcare. All right, but let me hop off here. Appreciate you listening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. One homie, teach two homies, teach three homies, teach four homies, teach more homies. All right, I'll be back at you soon. Be well. Peace.